Today's bike of the day is an excuse for me to talk about my favorite motorcycle manufacturer, Bimota. They have a long and storied history of taking existing proven power plants from other companies, but then wrapping it in their own bodywork, their own frames, and complementing that all with high quality components like suspension, brakes, and that kind of thing. It really does lead to exclusive bikes that have good engines and a bit of just, there's a bit of specialness to them all that I've always adored. I think a lot of you know that my personal daily commuter is actually a Bimota Tessie 3D, which uses a Ducati engine, and that's one of the things that it shares with this beauty right in front of me. This is a 1994 Bimota, I should say, DB2. And if you know about Bimota's naming structure, that DB2 tells you a couple of things. One, the D means it uses a Ducati engine. The B signifies it's built by Bimota, and 2 is just their way of saying it's the second bike in that series. So if you've been following Iconic for a while, you've seen that we've sold bikes like Bimota YB9s, that's Yamaha powered, Bimota SB6s, that's Suzuki powered, that kind of thing. So again, this is a DB2. It's actually a DB2 tricolore, as you can see here with that paint job, but it is Ducati powered. The DB1, the predecessor of this bike, is a very interesting motorcycle for a lot of reasons, and it's frankly deserves its own separate video, but it is credited it's credited to have saved Bimota from bankruptcy in the past. And one of the things that, I do like it for a lot of reasons, but one of the things I don't care about for the DB1 is that it's basically got fully enclosed bodywork, almost like a Passo. This, on the other hand, the successor, the DB2, I love that you can now see the frame and that gorgeous swing arm. This bike was offered in a black frame and a red frame. The red just pops so much better. I think it looks great on this bike. And again, the fact that you can actually see the frame is just such a bonus because it's such a cool piece of engineering, and it's kind of a shame to hide it. The DB2s were offered in both half fairings and full fairing bikes. Obviously the latter is what we have here. In many ways, it is the ultimate expression of a Ducati 900 SS, and that already itself was an iconic motorbike. It was Ducati's best-selling bike of the time. It led to reviews like Hunter S. Thompson's Sausage Creature story, which inspired a lot of people to ride. Peter Egan has called this a bike that everyone needs to own for themselves, or I should say he called the 900 SS a bike that everyone should own for themselves. This, again, is really the ultimate version of it. With the frame, the swing arm, other pieces, Bimota was able to save roughly 25 pounds of weight. A stock 900 SS is around 425 pounds. Wet weight for this, 398. And again, this is back in the early 90s. It uses that 900 SS motor with a couple of extra goodies, which I'll talk about in just a second. Power was around 85 horsepower, not gonna overwhelm you, but more than enough to have a good time. And hopefully, as you'll see at the end, it really sounds fantastic too. As I said before, Bimota takes all these parts and then adds top-notch components from other manufacturers as well. So from a suspension standpoint, you've got large Paoli forks up front, an Öhlins shock, Brembo calipers, Brembo rotors. I mean, it's kind of an Italian fest that we're talking about right now. It's also got billet. The rear sets are billet. The top triple is absolutely gorgeous. The milling work on this is fantastic. When journalists and when the press got this bike back in 1994, pretty much everyone ended their review by saying some variation of, this is the best Bimota that's ever been made to that point. As with most Bimotas, production of this was quite limited, so it's rare to see one, and it's even rarer to see one of the tricolores. I'm not going to be able to remember these numbers, so excuse me for just a moment, but Bimota made 408 of these in total. They made 285 with the full fairing, like you see here. 123 were the half fairing, and then there's different sources on this, but I see either 32 or 34 that were made as the tricolores, like you see here, and then also people claim that just 12 of these were imported to the US. So it's a rare bike wherever you go in the world, but it's especially rare here in America. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make it today's bike of the day for you to check out, hopefully learn a couple things about. This one just got dropped off today by a client of ours in Northern California. Before it goes up on the auction site though, our service department is going to give it a safety inspection / a condition report. That's something new we've implemented here at Iconic Motorbikes. Anytime a bike is dropped off here, we do want to make sure that our technicians take a quick look, basically, spend an hour on it and do a condition report on all the major systems that we include in the listing. And so that way the bikes are correctly represented, and of course buyers, bidders have a better idea of what the bike is like. So not only is this super rare, but it's been kept in pretty good shape. I mean, there's going to be little nicks here and there. Bimota used very lightweight fiberglass, which does save weight, but is on the fragile side. So sometimes you get a little bit of spider cracks or paint chips and that kind of thing, no worries. It's got 9,430 miles. And what I really like about this is that it has the right upgrades and modifications to it. Plus it's got all the stock parts as well that are included separately. So I mentioned earlier, okay, journalists get this, they say it's the best Bimota ever made. Great. Well, no bike's perfect. And so there were some concerns. A few people mentioned that, especially for how exotic it was, that kind of thing. Maybe it's not the fastest bike in the world because of that 900 SS motor. And one of the issues with that is going to be the stock Mikuni carbs. So a lot of owners that actually ride these things are going to put upgraded carbs on it. Well, this has Keihin FCR flat slides, which really wake it up. On the braking side, I should say, the owner has put Brembo Gold Line calipers on it as an upgrade. It's got Goodrich braided lines as well for better lines, better feel. On the exhaust side, it's got the factory Bimota optional sport exhaust, which has the carbon fiber cans there. And it's also got, it's got bar and mirrors, no big deal. Some carbon in terms of the clutch cover and the timing belt cover as well on this are carbon fiber. So lots of really good upgrades. And again, most importantly, the stock parts weren't thrown away. It's all going to be included as part of the listing. I mentioned that exhaust. Let's hear it. Normally there's a really cool choke mechanism here at the top triple, but because of the flat slides, there's no choke connected to it anymore. But we'll fire this up. So first of all, you can hear that dry clutch, right? But let's hear that exhaust. I really do love this bike. Full disclosure, when the owner dropped it off earlier today, I basically told him if Adam and I weren't putting all of our money into Iconic and trying to grow it, I probably would have bought this for myself. There's a lot of similarities I see with this and the Tessie 3D that I have fallen in love with. And I have a soft spot for the Ducati powered Bimotas. Really, my only complaint about this bike, which is a complaint that is shared with a whole bunch of the 90s Ducatis, is that it's got one of those suicide stands, the self-retracting kickstands, which always cause more trouble than they're worth. But other than that, this is a fantastic bike. I'm really excited for whoever ends up picking up on the auction site. The auction's going live basically as this video does, so you'll be able to see it on our auction site. If you have any questions, you know how to reach us. Please leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer. And I hope you learned something from this video. Thanks for watching.